The second split of Season 12 has finally gone underway, and with that we are getting some new weapons in different tiers. Though there were no balance changes to affect the guns, the map and loot pool do have a helping hand in putting guns in different spots. So hello everyone, I'm your hostess with the mostest, 8 Second Gaming, and in today's video I'm going to be breaking down all of the weapons for Split 2 of Season 12 and give you the updated tier list for them. We have seen a few changes on the guns going up and down in tiers, so if you're looking to learn a new gun, there is no better time than right now. Over on the GameLeap website, we have Predator level coaches creating highly in-depth guide content to help you grow as a player. And right now we are actually having a 50% off sale. So if you click the link in the description, use code SPLIT2 when purchasing a membership, you'll get a nice discount. But that's not it. You will also be entered in a draw to win a one-on-one coaching session with me, so we can really dive deep into your own gameplay and go over certain things to make you a better player. So don't miss out, go get a membership right now. But now let's dive into the tiers and start off with none of the care package weapons will be on this list. They are all in their own special tier because they're all broken, so if you don't see them on here, that is why. If I were to include them on this tier list, they would all be S tier and it would just clog up the video, so all of them will be off onto the side in their own broken tier. But now let's kick things off with our lowest tier, the D tier. These are the guns that you will use off drop if you are forced to, but you will be looking to swap off them as soon as possible. These guns are the EVA 8, the P2020, the RE45, and the L-Star. Starting off with the EVA, it is a shell of what it used to be. The nerfs to it and buffs to other weapons have made it just awful to use. If you're literally not right next to the person you're fighting, you aren't hitting for much damage and the killing potential isn't the best. It is mainly just a holder for a shotgun bolt at this point, and that's why it's finding itself down here. Next up is the P2020. This gun with hammer points and a fast trigger finger can be somewhat good, but relying on having both those isn't the best for a gun. In order to be good in a meta, you can't be relying on RNG to find hop-ups, and without hammer points the P2020 is pretty useless, so in D tier it stays. Now for the RE45, it is basically the same issue as the P2020. You need hammer points for it to be a decent option. It can't really be used in medium to long range, and close-up shotguns and SMGs are just better options. It doesn't really have a spot in the meta other than to be used as a light mag holder. I get that this gun can be good in arenas, but for BR it is D tier. And finally, the last D tier gun is the L-Star. This is much like the EVA where it used to be good, but now with the nerfs to it and other guns have just been outshining it, there's almost no reason to pick this one up. Havoc, Devotion, and Triple Take are all better options for energy guns, and the L-Star just doesn't really fit anywhere, so D tier it is. Now we can move on to our C tier guns. These guns are fine choices. They aren't standout and there are better options, but they aren't horrible either. There are only two guns finding a spot here, and that is the Mozambique and the Hemlock. Starting off with the Mozambique, now this gun is a weird one for a tier list. It does have a lot of really reliable damage, hitting consistent 45s. But a lot of the time if you're bubble fighting, it doesn't have the punch needed to win those fights. And a lot of people play Gibraltar in ranked, so bubble fighting is a needed skill. As of right now, I don't think the Mozambique can be any higher solely based off the fact you absolutely need hammer points. And like I said, needing a hop up is not a good thing for a gun. RNG sucks. And Kings Canyon loot pool is horrible, so you might not find it all game. But now we can move on to the Hemlock, and this gun just really is overshadowed by pretty much every other gun above it right now. It loses a lot of fights in close range and can't really compete in long range fights either. The time to kill isn't there, and unless you're hitting most of the burst in the head, you're more than likely going to lose straight up fights, so I can't put this gun any higher, not on a map like KC. Now we can move on to the B tier weapons though. These are the guns that are good enough to use, but they have areas that they are falling off in. This tier has the most guns in it with the Bowcheck, 3030, Alternator, Sentinel, Prowler, Triple Take, Longbow, and R99. The Bowcheck is another weird gun. It does have its moments where it shines. Hitting headshots can deal a massive amount of damage, but it cannot compete with sniper rifles. And the fact that it has its own ammo system is annoying to swap off later in the game, but it isn't amazing and it isn't bad either, so B tier is where it's finding itself right now. Next up we have the 3030. Now again, like the bow, it can be really good when you're hitting headshots, but the charge up time can cause you to lose out on kills. It also does have a very long reload time if you do not have the dual shell hop up, and it isn't the best close range because you would need shatter caps to compete. It has really fallen off in the meta. It used to be a little bit better on Storm Point, but right now it is 100% a B tier weapon. For the alternator though, this gun does have some redeeming qualities, decent damage output with easy to control recoil, but the time to kill is not on par with other SMGs and ARs, so if you're in a straight up gunfight, you're relying on the enemy to miss their shots, and because of that you will not be outgunning most people. You cannot be the center of attention in a fight if you're using the alternator, so for that it gets put in B tier. Now the Sentinel, it is a high risk, high reward gun. This is kind of like the Wingman where you really need to be relying on hitting headshots or you're lacking kill potential. Though this gun does hit hard, it does shoot very slowly, so teams can easily maneuver around it. There are a lot of downsides to the gun, and the only upside is that it hurts to get hit by, so it finds itself in B tier. Next for the Prowler, it has been a long fall for this gun. The fact that it used to be one of the best guns in the game with the fastest time to kill being S tier, now being B tier is harsh. But there are just so many better options out there right now that it isn't really seen in the meta and lands a spot down in B tier. There's not really a whole much that I can say about it. The Triple Take is the next gun finding a B tier spot, and mainly because of the time it takes to choke up the gun. Like the 30-30, it does lose a lot of damage and kill potential when you don't take the time to charge it up, and people can get away with that time. It also really falls off in long range versus snipers, and you're going to lose a lot of poke battles. The same issues that other marksman rifles like the 30-30 and the Bocek have are on the Triple Take too, so it finds itself in B tier. And for the longbow, it is a good gun. It has good fire rate, good damage potential, but the fact that you have to craft it is where it's been dropped off in the meta. I almost never see anyone run this gun anymore because it isn't worth it to craft when the other snipers are also good options. How many of you out there have actually seen somebody running a longbow recently? I'm going to guess it's not many of you. You are wasting 30 crafting materials that could be used on batteries or other things, so it is a good gun if you want to craft it, but it can't be any higher than B tier. But now rounding off this tier is the R99. This gun has just lost all usefulness in the meta. With the R301 being a better light gun and now the CAR being the best SMG in the game, the only reason to use this gun is to hold attachments until you get one of the guns that I just mentioned. The only reason it is B tier and not any lower is because it still can be decent if you hit every single bullet, but it chews through ammo and has low per bullet damage. I don't really understand why people still like this gun. There's no reason to run it, so B tier it sits. That is another great reason as to why you should be picking up a GameLeap membership. If you win the coaching session with me, I will be able to see how you play ranked and make sure that your planning is in order, so that you never have to second guess a decision in ranked ever again. And now we can move on to the A tier weapons. These are the guns that will easily win games for you and are great choices, but they lack one key piece to them, keeping them out of S tier. These guns are the Devotion, Havoc, Flatline, Charge Rifle, and Rampage. I'm going to talk about the Devotion and Havoc at the same time because they both have the same issue. With these guns, they are both great at killing and have a ton of damage output. A great asset to any team, but they really need the turbocharger in order to shine. Without that hop up, they leave a lot of opportunities to be killed when you're fighting people. And with needing that hop up, it does kill a lot of potential of their game because KC does not have the best loot tables, so it can be really hard to find a turbo if you don't get one of the explosive holds. But now for the Flatline, it is another solid gun. It's a great choice for anyone who's wanting a good AR to use. Kings Canyon is a fantastic map for assault rifles, but like the longbow, you need to craft it. And that takes time, materials, and sometimes just isn't worth it. I find myself a lot of times opting to swap off heavy rather than craft a Flatline because I need the materials for something else. And a lot of others are like this as well, so the Flatline is A tier, not S tier. And the Charge Rifle is another gun that could be S tier, but the issue that it has is the ammo that it takes. The gun is great at dealing damage and can really win games for teams. But again, KC has really small loot pools, and finding sniper ammo isn't the easiest thing most of the time, and you run out of ammo extremely quickly. If you have no ammo, the gun's useless, so the Charge Rifle is A tier. And the last gun in this tier is the Rampage. This gun is good and can really lay down a lot of hurt on teams, but it has a weird fire rate, and with the right stray speed, you can actually dodge the bullets from this gun. While it is amazing on certain legends like Gibraltar, it's not good in straight up fights. And if you don't have a sight on it, though it does have good iron sights, it's not the best in longer range engagements. But now we can move on into the S tier guns, the ones that you really want to be running and the ones that will carry you far this split. These are the Car, Mastiff, Peacekeeper, R301, and Wingman. The Car really feels like old R99. It has fast time to kill, great hipfire, and can be used in medium range as well if you want to be more versatile. But it also can take both heavy and light to help with ammo situations and open up a lot more opportunities as to what mag you can be running. This gun shreds up close and one that I've been loving to run this season. It is by far a S tier gun. Next up though, the Mastiff and Peacekeeper. We are still very much in a shotgun meta where up close fights are really determined by who hits more shotgun shots. The Mastiff and PK are both very equal right now in the meta, and it's more of a personal choice on which one you want to run. I prefer the Mastiff because it fits my playstyle a little bit better, but that is just me. And the fact that on certain legends like Gibraltar you have to have a shotgun, these are just S tier guns, there's no other way to put it. And the R301 is the best AR in the game, no ifs, ands, or buts. KC has a lot of terrain that favors assault rifles. They have a lot of long sightlines with up-close choke points, and there is no better option than the R301 if you're looking to play an AR. Fast time to kill, easy recoil, good options for players all around, and easily an S tier gun. Plus the explosive holds usually have a good mag or sight for the R301 as well, so the map really favors ARs a lot. But now for the Wingman. In past tier lists I have had the Wingman lower because of its high risk high reward like the Sentinel. But just like the R301, Kings Canyon really just vibes with the Wingman. It's great in all ranges and players that are good with this gun will win a lot of fights. Though if you are a Wingman enjoyer, I would suggest to use it a lot this season as it may be going in the care package soon, so use it while you can. And now that you know where all the guns are flying on the tiers, what one do you think you will be running most this season? I've been really enjoying the Wingman recently and probably will be using it a lot this split. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, and I really hope you guys enjoyed this video and learned something new. If you did and you want to stay up to date with the latest and greatest Apex Legends, tips, tricks, and news, you'll 100% want to smash that like and subscribe button. Thank you all for watching. Once again, I'm 8 Second Gaming, and I will see you in the next one.